Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna Gurdy, and I am the program coordinator at Writers in the Schools. Today, I am here with Samar Abulhassan and Sierra Nelson. Sierra and Samar are not only WITS writers and beautiful voices within our Local Voices family, but they are also innovators in words and communication. At the beginning of quarantine, Samar and Sierra took to sending letters to one another. And in these letters, they both found the beauty that is the collaboration you are going to hear. When listening to their textual ballet and their individual performances, keep your ears open for Samar's notorious construction of words. Listen to the curation of words as she exposes their inherent textures, sounds, and blends of colors. Listen as she gives them bodies, arms, and legs for them to move about in her pieces in their own ways. And for Sierra, listen for what Samar calls dream language. Her ability to ground us while simultaneously launching us towards cosmic unknowns. Sierra's words will undoubtedly cradle us back into the center of ourselves, where we find ourselves once again whole. And every word she gives us reveals truths we've always known, but still needed to hear. So without further ado, please listen as Samar Abulhassan and Sierra Nelson share Ocean Radish, followed by their individual creations.
This letter is powered by the steam engine of breath, the trellises of birdsong that make their own vine of afternoon light. The way my chest would open up the feelings of the song. Is the poem on the underside if I lift this letter up like a barnacled rock? The local, the cull of details, the loco, maybe crazy, and locomotion. The left margin is left spacious, the silence respected.
I enter any margin with such a blend of hope and terror. I'm writing this letter with a sunburn on my chest, and it is processing me. A pilgrimage, taking a long walk to the poetry bookstore to retrieve a text. Alexander slipped the book to me through a slot. I write to get ahead of thought. I write you to get ahead of thought. Tree radio, hair bonnet, an outermost curve of petal or bluest flume. Year after year, vowels ovulate. When I hear the word antibodies, jangling M&Ms, disco dance, orange poppies huddled together in a silky stadium, this is not a poem. This is a letter, like a rascal, gone, gone, gone.
After the outermost curve, apply the salve locally. The blue-black brush of the crow begins in cursive, but slows down to individual letter print. The letter H like, ha 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 ha, not funny, fate. Things are growing and blooming like mad that need no help or thought form from me.
Do you remember that HD line? If you take the moon in your hand and turn it round, you're there. All those years robust with hotel guests, cheese platters, saying too much or too little, kneeling down to fit in photos. What is tentative and what is sensing? Plant a precipice between them. John Prine, is he still in the Bardo? A typewriter stately and white paper pointing toward the sky. I've always loved the quiet thunders. Voila, oysters, whole of lullaby. I don't know why certain news bites our ears. A sieve caught his sleeve. What strike through is gold, will hold. Dry seaweeds, the underside, bright amber, speaks directly to you.
I can't wait to hug my mom. Screen heat, a medicinal use. Speech continues, contentment, moist, beyond author. Whose evening star? Astronaut suit massage. About the muddle that played the puddle. Isn't hearing the last to go? Washing the coffee pot, black mud, musical fingertips, sad spills, little pleasures damage dream dictionaries, incoheres, cutting into skin. Of out of peach season, whose dedication, like a visitation, sip.
Writing must be done at the 13th hour. Moonlight, serenade, soleil, remind me to polish my antenna. Notes heard permeating floors. God, always God, sweet and weird. Bird becomes verb, an ocean radish, and birth is happening. My mom, your mom, many ears inside your palm. A soccer ball rolls, a field of strong legs, shuttled to the hospital. In hospital hallways, the sun entered, the sun directly. Writing must be done, the slug poeming, the snail amplified. Words follow me around, a daily music, floored, hard not to be.
I wanted to offer a poem from my notebook from this time, inspired by Brenda Hillman's poem called Girl Sleuth. It's a poem I've used during WITS lessons a lot, which basically involves taking your name and doing some free associating alongside a memory. This is called A Cross-Eyed Girl Who The door's ajar. Where's Samar? She pulls back, the game in her mouth. A candy-striped wind propels hula hoop. Her waist a smoke ring. Oh, backyard star. Nervousness a record in orbit. Hips red against a knowing, quaking hunger. When will she drop it? Late afternoon dangles its jewelry inside furrows crease, crossing eyes into contrast. Don't smooth over that faraway look. One eye is tuned to an available rhythm. Invisible hairs poke, but no one's tanking for at least 11 years. She hulas when what triggers her exiles ripple out, reaches long for. Bobo Roshi was a perfect monk as a young man. Joey's alphabet fever points to primitive, never any mom. The door's ajar, the air is blueberry glass. She pulls back, the pain in her mouth overlooks a channel. Counterclockwise, a star moves to no wasted groove. Don't hurl that hoop through your window. When will it fall? Cars roll up and down a driveway, flick pebbles into reverie. How carried was she? Who carried her? Songs on cassette tapes, a collapse in the knees, reflect it faithfully. The door's but a shard, a hollow love woven. When she's cross and taken to the rooftop, in future linen or trench coat, when will it drop? The hoop sides with grip tape, slick songs having tiffs and rivers, recover.
Yay! Oh my goodness. Well, I'll read a few poems too, a small passel of poems. But it's so nice to share this space with you, Samar, this poem space.
Likewise, Sierra and Bree.
Brianna, thank you so much for the intro too. Okay, so another little offering here. And the first poem I'm going to read is an older poem, but it just resurfaced during quarantine, kind of with a new, lighting up a new facet to it. So just thinking of it in a new way, perhaps. It's called Postcard Ghost Meet. The ghost meat of all the barbecues we didn't go to haunts our days, trails us on the train, hangs around like a smoky weight in our bellies. Once I made you a soup which could never be replicated. It was made of the ends of everything, some of it fresh and some of it very old. Olives were a surprise ingredient. Every bite was like saying you wished you could stay and meaning it. The spoon made a satisfying sound against the ceramic bowl. There was nothing sorry about that soup. And this next poem is a very recent poem. It's called It's Not About You. The bee isn't waiting for you to move before it moves. It's not about you or your shadow or how you are looming over the seeds that aren't yet growing and the one sunflower sprout with its face still masked by the seed husk. And that isn't distant thunder, but a rush of blood as you clench your jaw slightly and try not to breathe when you pass someone more vulnerable than you and doing nothing to protect the tender tendrils of their lungs. Disapproval like droplets lingers long after the sun shifts and the temperature in the shadows plummets 10 degrees. A cool pool, the mind enters, then lets all the ripples go as the snail takes up again the mantle of the snail. This poem is called Soft Sand for Sale Sonnet. The nerves in my hands and feet are shot from the chemo still. It can take weeks or months, sometimes more, they say, to heal. 9 months now of prickling numbness, not life-threatening, they are quick to note, and not cold hypersensitivity, i.e. cold pain, experienced in infusion I would never wish back again. Still, it's unnerving, nerves that won't regrow, undamaged. Though lately there has been a new sensation. My bare feet will brush something on and off in the night and it feels incredibly, achingly soft, like sand through a powdered sugar sifter. Did you do that in preschool too? We'd call out soft sand for sale, like a tiny opera offering our hands. 5 to 200 arms. Nerve endings pulse point concentrated into the shape of the color blue, deepening into the underside of autumn's fanciful carapace. The sun raises its cup and its 5 to 200 arms along with it and bears no ill will to my face, turning away. Sir, this is no time for magic or the reproductive figure of a rabbit pulled from a top hat. Was that the flourishing of a cape or just a flap of the fabric of my life, a little flimsier, a little slipperier than I had thought it? Sorry, I'm about to get on a plane to fall in love with a person named Marina Cosmonauta. Though lacking a head, teeth, or jaws, the stars devour us with their fateful energies, and we put on our glass head spheres the better to breathe with, become our own best specimen X we'd never dream to part with. We're all just meat tied to the spiritual line, radulas raking, cellular metal ticking north, a parachute of frothy mucus bubbles sailing us home. I mean, come here, you sexy cosmonaut, in your heavy boots of lead, to live again. This one is called It Was Early Evening, I Unlocked the Door. But before going in, I stopped to consider a glowing green world with a star cap and pale green circus stripes I'd never noticed before, and the bright green lemon blue smell of a tomato after a cold rain. And with barely a blush, still growing plump, I plucked it, felt it better, frost coming soon, and besides, something's been nibbling on the fruits, somehow balancing on the top metal rungs of the tomato cage to reach them. It's hard to think how close I came to dying. Hard to know. These days feel strange and slow. Tomatoes will still grow ripe even off the vine. Put them near a banana and they'll ripen even faster. That's like my farmer's almanac moment. If nothing else from that poem, then you can have a little handy tip for the kitchen. And this is my last poem, Good Night Rhymes. Right, good night rhymes. Nursing baby, clocks untuck. Bunnies race around the block. All the mistakes you made before come back shouting, more, more, more. Moon bursts in without a knock. Hide your wish under a rock. Bunnies watch out for the prowlers. Sleepers wake up, count the hours. All the things you didn't do come back quiet, dressed in blue. Who were you yesterday? Sign on door says, go away. But shouldn't you let her in? Once she was your only friend. Bunnies race up to the moon. Life is over pretty soon.